Hi, my name is Troy Jensen. I'm a technical architect with Acorio. What you're about to see is a solution for our manufacturing clients and their customer service agents to be able to provide responses back to their customer. What's unique about this is that this allows for an approval of that response prior to being sent to the customer. Additionally, it provides the customer with a PDF of that response in addition to the previous responses they've received. So what is unique about this as well is that you can provide an interim response, an interim update, a final, and a final update, which in turn will continually update the case and allow for the customer to see the solutions and the responses on the portal.
Hello, and welcome to the demonstration of some new functionality that we've created to allow the customer responses in response to a customer service case, allow those responses to be reviewed and approved prior to being sent to the customer. So let's step through kind of the whole process from the case creation all the way through utilizing the case action summaries and some new approval functionality that we've implemented. So first, we're going to start just creating a new case. I created just a demonstration case type just called widget. We're going to say we got a case from Boxio USA. Our contact, of course, is Mr. Craig Parker. Our product is going to be for Iris. And we're going to assign this to one of our database groups. We're going to assign this actually to Database San Diego. All right, and so what our short description, they're having trouble with Iris, so we're just going to say Iris is running slow. So Iris is, we'll say it's a database that Boxio USA utilizes. So we'll say Iris is taking too long to start up. All right. So we have created our case. We gave it a short description, and again, we're kind of putting in real basic information just for demonstration purposes here. So this is pretty standard, case view in the agent workspace. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to me. All right, so now my new case has been assigned to me. And so one of the new pieces of functionality is that we're actually leveraging the existing case action summaries, but we've added some features to be able to create approvals for the case action summaries. Previously, those were only up on the post-case review after the case is closed. But we're going to go ahead and create a new case action summary. All right, so that's going to open up our new record here. You can see it brings over some information. So our short description is just about the Iris is running slow. We have a field that we added for case description so that you can see exactly what the case is for. We're going to provide a response type. We've added 4 new response types, and these are very flexible that we could change in terms of what these are called. We're just going to say this first one is an interim response. And let's say this needs to go to our parent database. Actually, we're going to send it to the database group in San Diego for approval. All right, and so as I come down here, now I have my case summary. And so really in ServiceNow speak, the case summary is the response. All right, so we can say we are investigating issue, and then our actions taken. So we can work on tracing back the performance issues. All right, so I've created my case response. We could always add, next steps or internal notes if we so choose. These are for internal only, as you can see here. But we're going to say, yep, this is what we want to send. However, in our process, in terms of responding back to a customer, we want to make sure that these are approved. All right, so we want to have an approval group that I set here for Database San Diego. I have a request approval button up here. I'm going to go ahead and click. All right. All right, so now I get a message, it's been submitted for approval with no action taken yet. Because I am in the approval group as well, just again, for demonstration purposes, I can go ahead and I could update this if I need to. I could change or add anything I need. And I'm just gonna say, you know what, this looks good. Let's go ahead and approve that. And so upon approval of this case action summary, okay, this generates a PDF, and you can see it's stored right over here. All right, so there's a PDF of this case action summary. And what we've also done is added this PDF to the case record itself. Okay, so now I've navigated back to my widget case. I'm going to refresh my page because then it'll pull in the attachment that's been added to the case. And if I come over here to the far right and I want to click on my paperclip, it shows me this is what the interim response looks like. Okay, so this is the PDF. So what's nice about this is that this, because it's on the case, the customer can also see that as well. So in my other browser here, I am logged in as Craig Parker. All right, so I'm going to come in here and we could enable some type of notifications that go out to them. But we're going to say it's this first case right here. So 1011. All right, and Craig can come in here and check it out and see, oh, I've got an interim response for this particular case. It's stored here on the attachments. And I could open that up. And as it gets opened up here, we can check it out. All right, what is the response that's been provided? All right, so here's some case details. It gives me that. And then, of course, our response created today, it gives it a date, time stamp, a summary, and what are the actions being taken. Okay, so this is very, very flexible, this template. We could add additional information if we need to from the case. We could provide additional fields if necessary. But this is kind of this more straightforward way to provide this response back. All right, so let's say I am, as an agent, I am continuing to do some research, and now I have some more information I need to share with the customer. So I'm going to create another case action summary. All right, and I'm going to say this is going to be my interim update. Okay, so I'm just basically updating my interim response. We still want to make sure that this is approved. So I'm going to set my approval group. And now you see I still have my case description. I have an opportunity to provide a case summary. So we have decided to reboot the server. Okay, so that is the steps we're going to be taking. Now I have an additional field here that had brought in the previous responses. Okay, so it's bringing in the previous case summary. It's telling me what the response type was, is the interim, when it was created, and of course our summary. What is it that we provided? So if I come down here again, I can put in, what are the actions taken? So rebooting, now just waiting for the server to start back up. All right, so now I've provided some more information back to our customer. I'm going to go ahead and request approval on that because I need to, as I said before, we need to get those approved. And I'm going to go ahead and approve that one. All right, so now I've approved that particular case, that particular case action summary, I should say. And again, it creates an updated, here's our interim update response. So it creates that PDF. I'm going to come back to my case here and I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. All right, so then what it does is it actually replaces, the functionality actually replaces the previous PDF that was on the case. Now we have just our interim update response, okay? So, and then of course, in the cases here, we also have a related list for case action summary. All right, and you can see it provides a list. Okay, so now I can go back and look at each of these individual records if I need to. And because it updated this particular the PDF, it's also going to do the same thing on the portal. You can see here, here's my interim update. So it automatically did that for me. All right, and again, I can open that up. And then once I view my PDF, you can see here, here's my most recent response. And then we've also included the previous case responses for this particular case. All right. And so now I could go back in and I could create yet another case action summary if I so choose. All right. And maybe this is my final one. So now I could come in here. I set my response type to final. Again, still need to make sure we get this approved. I'm going to say my case summary is that server successfully rebooted. All should be good now. Okay. And again, it provides my case responses. So previous responses. So it starts with the first one I provided. So interim. And then I had an interim update. All right. And then the actions taken. So server is done rebooting. All right. And so I can go ahead and request approval. And then we could enhance some functionality here. And once we submit a final response, we could potentially resolve that case automatically. But that is, one option that could be added pretty easily to this. I'm going to go ahead and approve this. All right. And again, it creates that PDF, as you can see here. I'm on my case action summary. Let me go back to my case itself. I refresh that. You can see it actually refreshed my related list there. And of course, it gives me my final response over here on the far right in the attachments. And again, it does that out on the portal as well. So if we open this one up as well, just like we did before, now we can see here that we have our responses. So server successfully rebooted, all should be good now. And then you can see the previous responses. And we add these previous responses to ensure that the customer can see all of the previous ones in one particular spot. All right, so we constantly just replace that PDF that was previously generated so they don't have to juggle through several different documents and be able to see all those. Now you can see, they could come back here and they could see these different ones right here, but in the PDF itself, we'll have all of the previous responses. So that is the conclusion of this particular snippet of additional functionality that we've built out for our manufacturing customers that would provide, again, provide them with a way to provide summaries and responses back to the customers with some approvals. If they so choose not to have approvals, that is just fine too. It can automatically just spin up those PDFs and provide those as well.